Hello and welcome to the channel that I don't even see myself on the screen with. My name is Evan Edwardson, and I am here to talk about self-reliance. I have a long history of attempting to be self-reliant, and I'm going to talk about the subject and many different areas and subjects involving self-reliance. First, I want to talk about um, expression and the importance of um, communication. And something that I do often is, um, in the past, I used to try and improve my language by writing it down and then attempting to improve my computation because I think language affects philosophy. So when I'm not writing things down, I also use my eyes. I use my eyes, right, debatable, left, wrong, not accurate. Accurate, not accurate, debatable. There's low, there's high, there's middle. There's different tells. It's similar to poker. It's in a way to be expressive past words. And when somebody is in a conversation, the difficulty to express oneself and the ability to say things without words and with intent and expression and ability. And when people are able to notice that, sometimes I think that it's interesting. So that's that. I also use hands, progression. What are some other ones? Uh, uh, Stop and then start. So there's different things of that sort that I do. I don't want to go into all the details because that's something I'll go into as I go, I guess. So this is a list of um, some things that could be done with other individuals. If somebody is home alone and in the middle of a conflict type thing, I think that um, uh, an example would be Rwanda. If something similar to Rwanda happened with machete warfare, and if I hurt somebody downstairs, and then what could be done? I could go have a word, have expressions that are not normal, that people do not recognize and notice in an emergency situation. Having these things accurate, not accurate, debatable, and different expressions that people might be able to remember, I think is an important thing to be able to communicate issues. Um, Baby boo. It sounds similar to "I will kill you," and the I think importance to identify oneself when those type of things are said in a conflict of similar to a Rwanda type thing where people are running around with machetes killing people and somebody's sleeping in their bed and somebody went downstairs to do the laundry and then they hear them creeping up the stairs. Somebody might be very scared. Hey, baby boo, uh, would you get me some water too? Something of that sort. I don't know. It's poetic. So what would be important there? um Maybe they don't say anything, and that is very strange and very alarming. So something of that sort, I think is important. Now, if somebody is communicating with other people and in a group setting of consolidated resources, some other things would be what cross-eyed, infiltrated. Somebody has is trying to extort, and there's a way to express without saying words and seeming very obvious. Cross-eyed, something quick, infiltrated. There's a problem. Something could happen. Now, there's other things uh, uh, that could be done um, uh, to express different opinions and different things. Um, Stonewalling people, telling them don't say anything about resources, keep it low, and that type of stuff. Nose picking to ready aggression. There's a problem, but up the nose. Why are you picking your nose in front of me? That's very strange. That's a tell. That was said. That was done. There's something seriously wrong. So seriously problematic and an issue type thing. So that's some things that I'm going to talk about. And I have a book here that I've spent a lot of time putting together some subjects, and I'm just going to go through a few quick. So having information that's not on a cell phone, having a book full of important things. Now I've heard of survival books, and I have a few type things, and I think that they're interesting and important. And I think I also have growing food books, and there's different things making soap out of charcoal type stuff. There's different things. So also other things that I write down are important expressions. I am an amputee. Now, I wrote down in the beginning of this book, at 50 degrees, my amputated leg goes into serious danger because of the muscle tensions and stuff. Now, if I'm out in society and I say, I don't want to go do that, it's cold outside, I'm worried. That's different than having something written down, expressed, and on the books. So I think that that is also important with many subjects. And details I think would be appropriate. So there's also things including measurements. I've gone into different measurements, including boiling water, the amount of time to have safe water type stuff, um, uh, amounts of air. So I got many different subjects, and I'm going to go over some of them, and I'm going to try and do some of them. And I enjoy these type of things. I went into one thing I've never had much information about is sicknesses and the amount of time they're going to last and stuff. And after that COVID stuff, I've been attempting to write down different things and have information about the length of time a flu lasts type stuff and different diseases that could occur. And I think that going over in a conflict that a strep throat could be very dangerous because antibiotics might be difficult to get, and going around children could be problematic. So, water filtration, uh, uh, different plants in the different plants and things in society on the normal, and what about planning food in society after it falls apart type thing. And I also thought about this in the forest. I was thinking if I did have failure to move to farmland, that I would just go in the forest and walk the Appalachian Trail type stuff, and having information about plants, including poison ivy and stuff, and the way it looks. Because I had that problem many times, and I got a picture of it that I drew up myself. Now, this type of stuff over here, reflective stuff, solar ovens, interesting, seeds, the way to grow things, dried beans, they can be made into plants. Um, and there's ways to do that. Uh, Potatoes from the grocery store, they won't grow, but onions would, by putting them in the roots in water and having the roots grow, and then putting it in dusty soil and shifting it around to get the dirt around it, and then watering it to get that settled into position around it without air pockets that can be problematic, similar to um, uh, dry spots on beans if they're not mixed a little and stuck to the side of a bowl type thing. So uh, some other things I went into are so distances of places. Uh, One thing I think is interesting is golf, and that having information about the height of the flag, and by looking at it with a device that I line up with the top of the flag and the ground, I can have information about an estimate of the distance I am away from that flag. And that can also be done with a stick that I have a measurement of and the measurement of distance that it is away from me. And then I can go to different places and have that information about what the height of a door frame. If I have the information about it, the height of a door frame, and then I have the distance, I can figure that information about the distance I am away from something. I have many recipes. I'm a vegan, and it's very easy to survive because I'm not eating meat. And food is it's I think more it preserving food I think is easier, and I talk about root cellars, and that's not something that's often talked about, and I think there's some many interesting subjects, including Korean um, food preserving, including uh, the use of beans that they use, miso and different things, and the ways that that could be used in a conflict to promote food and the use. And it tastes a little weird, and the extent of it, but if somebody is starving, would they eat it? Um, it's easy to preserve, similar to a watermelon. What amount of watermelon do they eat? Do they eat the edge? Do they eat the whole thing? And having that information about the extent of desperation somebody is in, while providing resources to them, I think is could be used to extort, and could be used to properly not be extorted and help society. There's different things that are difficult to do, including mayo, and there's different ways to do that with vegan and stuff like that. Whatever, but that's some interesting stuff. I'll go into a little about that stuff. Blah blah blah. So there's some other things. I went over charcoal a little. Da, 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 da. What else do I got in here? Da, 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 da. So it's upside down. Vinegar, alcohol can be used, I think, as a way to wash things, and I probably won't go into that type of stuff. I'm gonna try and stay away from those type of subjects that people could do on their own, and try and keep it away from that type of stuff. So so that's that, and what am I gonna do next week? Maybe I'll do. Well, I plan on growing some plants. I plan on growing some. What do I got? I got a list. And I'll go into that a little. I'll go over using a heating mat and a some other things to get seeds started, and I'll show the progression after a few days and different things of that sort. And then I'll keep people informed about different subjects as things go on, and I will attempt to provide a date about when things have occurred, at least a time frame, and about those type of subjects, so that people can have information about the time frame of progression. Um, da, 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 da. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but that is the start of the show. I hope you have a nice day, and bye.